Viki, it's all yours.
Well, hey everybody.
Hi.
How y'all doing? I'm a country girl, born and raised in a little town called Granttown, West Virginia. And I'd like to start off by saying thank you to Rod, Professor Hirsch, and the other two gentlemen that are so kind to be here. Thank you to all of you for giving me your attention. If there's any advice I can give any of you, make sure that you know what you know when you go out into the world. But speaking in front of people is a little unnerving, so bear with me.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. First thing I want to start off with is describing a little bit about where West Virginia is. One of the questions I got when I moved to Philadelphia, for example, was, wow, you're not from around here, are you? No, I'm not. Well, where are you from? I'm from West Virginia. Well, what part of Virginia is that? It's not. Okay. West Virginia is known as the Panhandle State. We have an arm that goes into Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and then Ohio, Kentucky. So we're in the midst of those states. At one time, West Virginia was part of Virginia, and part of the West Virginia history is President Abraham Lincoln declared that West Virginia could become a separate state from Virginia. The motto is Mountaineers are always free, and, so we're very proud to be from West Virginia. I was in a church choir, and I played piano. I was in my high school marching band. Yes, I'm a band geek. There were 35 in my graduating class, so that just goes to show how small my school was. So once I graduated, I went to modeling school. Modeling school henceforth moved to Philadelphia, the sound of Philadelphia. Now, those of you in this class might be a little too young to remember a television show called Soul Train. Well, anyway, the Soul Train was the bandstand forerunner, the dance show that would come on every Saturday, and we were just fascinated, you know, to see people dancing, you know, with the wild outfits. Well, the theme music was from a group called The Sound of Philadelphia, or TSOP. That, I came to find out, in Philadelphia there was a record company called Philadelphia International Records. Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff came together. They had a vision where they had studio musicians and in-house writers that would write all the songs. They had their own recording studio. They had their own musicians, and it was like a machine. So you take a songwriter, Linda Creed and Tom Bell, for example. They were two of the most prolific songwriters ever. They wrote songs called Betcha by Golly Wow, You Are Everything, Everything Is You. Linda Creed went on to write The Greatest Love of All. Well, they would write the songs. They would do what's called collaborating. Linda was good at the lyrics. Tom was good with music. Put it together. Then they would take it to the band. Bobby Eli is a very good friend of mine. He was a guitar player. He's playing guitar. A guy named Norman Harris was a producer. Bruce Hawes was a producer, songwriter. These are people that sort of took me under their wing once I came to Philadelphia, and I just learned from whatever experience I could get. Sometimes I did studio sessions for no money, just to be in the studio, so to speak. And I listened, and I kind of paid attention, but at the same time I went to college. So one of my other experiences was enrolling in a music school, Combs College of Music, where I studied opera. Some of you might think, well, I'm all over the place, and I kind of was. But in the music industry, you sometimes wait for the industry to choose what path you're going to take. So, for example, when I got to work with the 3 Degrees, I didn't have a manager, didn't have any representation, and someone said, well, there's an entertainment lawyer you should speak with. Give him your tape, give him your picture, see if he can place you somewhere. I walk into his office, he looks at me, he says, have you ever heard of a man named Richard Barrett? I said, no. He goes through his index, he says, okay, give him a call, that you're here. Turns out that Mr. Richard Barrett was the most prolific producer there was in starting groups. He started a group called the Chantels. He started the OJs. He started Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, Little Anthony and the Imperials. And he also started a group called the 3 Degrees. And the 3 degrees were 3 young women, 15 years old, that came together, sang harmony. Each one could sing lead, and this was Richard's vision. But what he did was he took them out of the United States and made them international. They sang in different languages. They performed for royalty. They were known as Prince Charles' favorite group. They performed at Buckingham Palace for Prince Charles' 30th birthday. And that was such an honor. So I got to meet Richard, and he trained me to be, I guess you'd say, the baby degree. So I became the youngest person to perform and record with this group. So it's really been an interesting journey for me, because now I have my own CD, and I sort of was tongue-in-cheek a little bit with the whole presentation because I called it the Country Diva. And so there's what I think is like this glamorous picture on the front. Then I have like this Ellie Mae kind of picture in the back. You know, and people that know me know that that's my personality. I kind of don't take myself that seriously, but I'm very proud of it, because to me it's the culmination of being that little girl in Granttown, going through everything I went through, meeting people, traveling, working with people, and now I can say, wow, okay, this is something that I can show people. I can hear my songs in the radio. So it's just like a dream come true for me. I wrote a song years ago for a campaign for safety wristbands. At the time, we had milk cartons, and pictures of missing children could be found on the milk cartons with the slogan, "Have you seen this child?" This was before Nancy Grace. This was before the Amber Alert. This was before the whole media got involved. Subsequently, we went into the studio, recorded it. I now have a website, www.vikiwallace.com, VIKIWALLACE, where you can find the song and read a little bit about the missing kids situation. There's foundations and Polyclass Foundation, and as I said, Nancy Grace, they're doing amazing things. But there's no anthem, there's no song, there's no outreach. That's pretty much all I can think of right now.